elderly mother-in-law was about to sit down for dinner, but her daughter-in-law pulled the chair away. She fell to the ground without standing still. The daughter-in-law scolded her, saying she had no right to be seated. But her son not only didn't stop her. Instead, he gloated and laughed. Grandma could only sit alone on a small bench in the corner, with only a few leaves in her bowl. It's not the first time she's been bullied in this family. Her in-laws often beat her for small things. The daughter-in-law's behavior is even more outrageous. She was about to throw a duster at her. Luckily, her daughter arrived in time to save her life. Her daughter was concerned and asked her. She wanted to tell the whole story. When she saw the look in her mother-in-law's eyes, she swallowed her words. She only said she fell down by accident. She had nothing to do with it, although her daughter wanted to help her out. But her mother's weakness made it impossible for her to do so. That's why at lunchtime, that's when the fall happened. The daughter went out to buy gifts and came back. She found her mother sitting in the corner with a bowl. In response to her daughter's inquiries, she looked at her in-law's mother and could only say she was used to it. The daughter slammed the bowl on the bench. She dragged her mother to argue with them, but her mother-in-law turned the truth on its head. She said it was her mother who didn't like to eat at the table. Nephew immediately answered that it was my parents who didn't want my grandmother to eat at the table. Sister-in-law hurriedly covered the child's mouth. She lied and said the child was talking nonsense. Then she turned on the mother-in-law. She asked her in a threatening tone, "Did you ask her to eat at the table?" But the mother-in-law, who had been bullied for a long time, had lost her courage to fight back. She could only say that she liked to be alone in the corner. At this point, the son finally began to speak. He started to talk about how he disliked his mother. It's said that raising children protects against old age. It seems that this is not true for everyone. Luckily, she has a filial daughter. In the face of the three of them aggressively, her daughter knocked down the gifts she bought, and was ready to throw them out of the house, because she bought the house with full payment. The cheeky brothers and sisters-in-law took it for themselves. At this point, the mother came out as a mediator. Not only did she pick up the gifts and give them to her son, even the pendant that her daughter picked out for her. She even gave it to her in-laws who bullied her. Then she picked up a piece of meat and handed it to her grandson. She didn't expect her grandson to think the meat was dirty. Her daughter-in-law complained that she didn't know her grandson's preferences. The two sides argued again for half an hour. In the end, the daughter-in-law wanted to leave home. They asked their loser brother to do them justice. The man turned on his sister and his own mother. He said he'd apologize or get out of the house. But after all, the woman bought the house. The son couldn't take it out on her. He could only take it out on his own mother. He was even about to hit his mother. But the daughter stopped him and slapped him in the face. That's how men learn that not everyone can be bullied. When she returned to her room, she found her mother's bruises. She realized that her brothers and sister-in-law's family had caused all the trouble. She swore in her heart she would make them pay. Then she went back to her room to rest. She found that all her jewelry had disappeared. She realized the true nature of her brother and sister-in-law's family, and she wasn't a coward like her mother. She decided to go to her brother and sister-in-law's room, but she heard her sister-in-law telling her brother she's going to get married eventually. She told her brother to grab the house he was living in. The brother immediately said that if his sister didn't give him the house, then mother won't be able to live a good life. Hearing this, sister angrily pinched the doorframe. She was determined to teach the family a lesson.